Nothing says trust like finding handcuffs in your wife's purse at 2 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't snooping. Not really. Just looking for Tylenol because my head was pounding like a jackhammer after 12 hours of drywall work on the Anderson job. Sarah's purse sat on the kitchen counter right where she dropped it when she stumbled in from her girls' night an hour ago. She'd kissed my cheek, breath reeking of wine and something else, something sweeter, and mumbled about Maya being such a mess before disappearing upstairs. My hand found the bottle of pills, but it also found cold metal chrome handcuffs, professional grade, not the fuzzy novelty kind you'd buy as a gag gift. These had weight, purpose. A tiny key dangled from the chain. I stood there in my kitchen holding handcuffs that definitely weren't mine in a purse belonging to a wife who'd been coming home later and later from work trips and team-building exercises. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead. Outside, rain hammered against the windows of our fixer-upper in this dying New England town that time forgot. My name's Al Turner, 46 years old, general contractor, former wild-turned-respectable husband. I fix things for a living. Broken pipes, cracked foundations, rotting porches. I'm good at seeing structural problems before they collapse. Should have applied that skill to my marriage. I pocketed the key, left the handcuffs. Call it insurance. Call it instinct. Call it the first move in a game I didn't know I was playing yet. The next morning, Sarah was already dressed for work when I came downstairs. She wore her power suit, the navy one that meant important meetings, and her hair was pulled back so tight it looked painful. She was 42, but could pass for younger when she tried. HR manager at Byte Forge, the startup that moved into the old mill building 5 years ago, bringing jobs and pretension to our blue-collar town in equal measure. Coffee? I asked, pouring myself a mug. Already had some. Running late. She grabbed her purse, checked her phone, checked it again. Nervous energy radiated off her like heat from asphalt. How was Maya last night? What? Her eyes snapped to mine. Too fast, too sharp. You said Maya was a mess. Everything okay? Oh yeah. Man, trouble. You know how she gets. Sarah's laugh sounded like breaking glass. Listen, I've got that conference in Portland next week. 3 days. I'll need you to handle the house stuff. Another conference. It's important for my career, Al. Some of us are still climbing. The edge in her voice could cut steel. She'd been throwing that line at me for months. The implication that I'd peaked, that my dirty hands and honest work were somehow less than her corporate ladder. She left without kissing me goodbye. I waited 10 minutes, then checked her office. She kept it locked, but I'd installed the door. I had a key. Inside, everything looked normal. Desk, computer, filing cabinet, motivational posters about synergy and disruption. But her laptop was gone. She'd taken it with her, which she never did. Always complained about the weight. Always left it on the desk. I found the burner phone in her car. Old man Seiler was washing his Buick across the street when I walked out to Sarah's sedan. He was 70-some, Vietnam vet, saw everything, said little. He nodded at me. I nodded back. Small town choreography. The burner was in the glove box under the registration papers. Cheap flip phone, the kind you buy with cash at a convenience store. I powered it on. No password. Dozens of texts from a contact labeled M. Can't wait for next week. 3 days just us. Bring the handcuffs. I'll bring the wine. Your husband really doesn't know. Al. He's clueless. Too busy with his little projects. I sat in her car, rain starting to fall again, reading texts that described things my wife had done with someone else, things we hadn't done in years. The messages were explicit, detailed, enthusiastic. They talked about hotels, positions, fantasies. They laughed about me. My hands didn't shake. That surprised me. I felt cold, clinical, like I was reading someone else's story. But underneath, something ancient and ugly stirred. Not rage, not yet. Something sharper, more controlled. I snapped photos of every message, forwarded them to my own phone, returned everything exactly where it belonged. Locked the car. Seiler was still scrubbing his Buick, but he wasn't watching the car anymore. He was watching me. Our eyes met. He gave a slight nod, the kind that said, I know something's wrong. Without saying anything else. Then he went back to washing. Rich Donnelly had been my closest friend since high school. We'd torn things up together, gotten sober together, and now we occasionally got drunk together at Murphy's Bar on Friday nights. He was a plumber, married to Gina, who had the social awareness of a CIA analyst and the discretion of a priest. If anyone knew what was really happening in this town, it was Gina. I called them both that night, told them to come over after Sarah left for her conference. "Jesus, Al," Rich said when I showed them the texts. We sat in my basement workshop, surrounded by tools and sawdust. "How long you think this has been going on?" "Months, maybe." I pulled up my phone's photo gallery. I've been tracking her locations through the family phone plan. She's been going to the same address downtown every Tuesday and Thursday night. Not Maya's place, not the gym. Gina leaned forward, her sharp eyes scanning the screen. "That's the Riverside condos. Expensive. Who's M?" "That's what I need to find out." "You could just ask her," Rich offered. "Confront her straight up. And she'll deny it, gaslight me, make me feel crazy, or she'll admit it, and we'll have a big dramatic scene. Lawyers get involved, and I'll lose half of everything I've built." I shook my head. "No, I need leverage first. Information, evidence she can't deny." Gina studied me with an expression I couldn't quite read. "You're planning something?" "I'm planning to not be the fool everyone's laughing at. Al, revenge is I'm not talking about revenge. I'm talking about justice. There's a difference." I paced the workshop. She's been lying to me for months, using our money for hotels, making me look like an idiot to her friends and this guy, whoever he is. I just want to level the playing field. Rich and Gina exchanged a look. That married couple telepathy thing. "What do you need?" Gina asked. "Information. Who is he? Where does he work? Is he married? I need to know what I'm dealing with." Gina pulled out her phone. "Give me the address." It took her 45 minutes and 3 phone calls to her network of friends, hairdressers, and real estate agents. The answer came back clean and brutal. Miles Gainan, 38, works at Byte Forge with Sarah, sales director, divorced 2 years ago, drives a black Audi, lives in Unit 412 at Riverside. Gina looked up from her phone and Al, everyone knows Maya's been talking about it at the salon. "Half the town knows your wife is sleeping with her coworker." The cold feeling in my chest spread. "Everyone knows." "I'm sorry." Gina's voice was soft. "I thought you knew. I thought that's why you were asking." Rich put a hand on my shoulder. "What are you going to do?" I thought about the handcuff key in my pocket, about the burner phone, about Sarah's nervous energy and late nights, about being called clueless in text messages that strangers were probably reading at the hair salon. I'm going to make sure they regret it. The next Tuesday, I followed her. Sarah left the house at 7 o'clock, supposedly for a late meeting. I waited 5 minutes, then took my truck downtown, parked across from Riverside condos, watched. She arrived at 7:30, parked in the visitor spot, checked her makeup in the mirror. She'd changed clothes since leaving home, the conservative work outfit replaced by something tighter, newer, something I'd never seen before. She walked into the building like she owned the place, confident, energized. I waited. At 11 o'clock, she came back out, hair tousled, lipstick gone, smiling at her phone. She didn't notice my truck tucked in the shadows across the street. Didn't notice old man Seiler sitting on the bench near the entrance, feeding pigeons at 11 o'clock at night like it was perfectly normal. But I noticed Seiler and he noticed me. He rose slowly, shuffled past my truck, and dropped something on my hood. A scrap of paper. Unit 412. Black Audi in spot 28. Leaves around 6 a.m. Wednesdays and Fridays. I looked up, but he was already moving away, hands in his pockets, just another old guy out too late. Wednesday morning, I was parked at Riverside at 5:30. The Audi pulled out at 6:15. I followed it to a gym, then a coffee shop, then Byte Forge. Miles Gainan was tall, fit, with that sales guy grin that probably closed deals and opened doors with the same ease. He wore pricey suits and moved like someone who'd never been hit in the face. That could be fixed later. Not yet. I needed more. I needed them relaxed, comfortable, arrogant. I needed them careless. I spent the next week getting ready. Installed a voice-activated recorder in Sarah's car, hidden in the visor. Cloned her burner phone using software Rich dug up on a sketchy forum. Set up a fake social media profile and sent a friend request to Maya, who accepted instantly because she accepted everyone. Maya's posts were a gold mine. Photos from girls' nights Sarah wasn't at. Check-ins at restaurants on nights Sarah claimed she'd been there. And comments, dozens of them, where Maya and her friends talked about AL's new man and the hot sales guy. And poor Al, he has no idea. They were right. Poor Al had no idea, but Al was catching on fast. The conference was in Portland, 3 hours north. Sarah left Sunday afternoon, kissing my cheek with the same distracted affection you'd give a dog. I'll call you when I get there. Love you. Love you too. I lied. I gave her a 2-hour head start, then checked the tracker I'd slipped under her bumper. She wasn't heading north to Portland. She was driving east toward the coast, toward the Ocean View Resort, a boutique hotel that definitely wasn't hosting any HR conferences. The recorder in her visor caught everything. Her call to Miles. He swallowed it whole. 3 days, baby. Just you and me in that king-size bed you promised. Miles laughed. Did you bring the handcuffs? Of course. Though we might need the key this time. Last time was fun, but my wrists were sore for days. That's because you struggle so pretty. They laughed together at me, at my stupidity, at how easy it was to fool the dumb contractor. I sat in my truck in my driveway listening to my wife plan 3 days of sex with another man and felt something snap inside me. Not my heart, that had cracked weeks ago. This was different. This was the last bit of respect I had for her. The last shred of benefit of the doubt shattering like dropped glass. Rich called. You okay, man? I'm perfect. Listen, I need a favor. The handcuff key was the easy part. I'd already swapped it with a similar-looking key that fit nothing. The real key was in my workshop, hanging on my keychain, waiting. The hard part was getting into Miles's condo. That's where Gina stepped in. Turns out her cousin worked maintenance at Riverside. For $200 and a promise to fix his kitchen sink, he handed me a maintenance uniform and a passkey. 1 hour, Al. That's it. And if anyone asks, I never saw you. Unit 412 was exactly what I expected. Modern, sterile, expensive, black leather furniture, stainless steel everything. Photos of Miles looking successful at corporate events. No photos of family, friends, or anything that suggested real connection. I planted 3 voice recorders, one under the bed, one in the living room behind a plant, one in the bathroom inside the toilet tank. Then I went through his things. His laptop was locked down, but his filing cabinet wasn't. Inside was his whole life laid bare, tax returns, bank statements, employment contracts, plus proof of other affairs, printed emails likely saved for his divorce, photos of women who weren't his ex-wife, hotel receipts stretching back years. Miles Gainan was a serial cheater. Sarah wasn't special. She was just current. I photographed everything, put it all back, left the condo exactly the way I found it. That night, I sat alone in my empty house and listened to the recordings from the Ocean View Resort. The recorder in Sarah's purse caught everything. Check-in. Champagne in the room. Laughter. Then sounds I didn't want to hear but forced myself to anyway because I needed the anger. Needed the fuel. Between sessions, they talked. Does Al really not suspect anything? Miles asked. Al, please. He's too busy with his little construction projects. I swear he's more interested in fixing other people's houses than his own marriage. You could just divorce him and give up half of everything? No thanks. This way I get stability and excitement. Best of both worlds. You're evil. I love it. You're not so innocent yourself. How many women are you seeing right now? Just you, baby. Just you. Sarah laughed. Liar. I saw the text from Jennifer on your phone last week. That's different. That's just casual. You're special. More laughter. More sounds I didn't need to hear. I shut off the recording and sat there in the dark. The rain started again, pounding the roof like it was trying to break in. This town got rain the way other places got sunshine. Constant, heavy, slowly wearing everything down. My phone buzzed. Gina. Maya just posted photos from Girls' Weekend in Portland. Except Sarah's not in any of them. People are commenting, asking where she is. Maya's making excuses. Let them, I typed back. Let them all talk. I want everyone to know. Al, what are you planning? Justice. They came back Tuesday night separately, Miles first, then Sarah 2 hours later, keeping up the illusion. She walked in with her suitcase and conference bag, smiling, relaxed. How was Portland? I asked from the couch. Exhausting. So many presentations, but good. Really good for networking. She kissed the top of my head. I missed you. Did you? Something in my voice made her stop. Of course. Why wouldn't I? No reason. Just feels like you've been distant lately. Distracted. It's just work stress. You know how it is. She headed for the stairs. I'm going to shower and crash. Long drive. Hey, Sarah. She turned. Did you know everyone's talking about you? Her face drained of color. What? Maya posted photos from Portland. You're not in any of them. People are asking questions in the comments, wondering where you really were. I watched her think, watched her calculate, weigh options, pick a response. Finally, she laughed, tight and forced. That's because I skipped the tourist stuff. I was actually working, unlike Maya. You know how she is. Everything's a photo op, right? Of course, that makes sense. She studied me, trying to figure out if I knew more than I was saying. I kept my face neutral, confused, mildly concerned. The dumb husband worried about gossip. People in this town need to mind their own business, she said at last, then went upstairs. I waited until I heard the shower start. Then I went to her purse, found the burner phone, and checked the messages. AL's acting weird. Did you talk to anyone? No. Relax. He doesn't know anything. Probably just paranoid about small-town gossip. We need to be more careful or we need to stop caring what people think. I'm tired of sneaking around. Soon, baby. Soon. I slid the phone back where it belonged, went down to my workshop, took out the handcuff key, and held it up under the bulb. Soon really did mean soon. Murphy's Bar was the kind of place where everybody knew your name and most of your secrets. Dark wood walls, low lighting, sports playing non-stop, and beer so cold it numbed your mouth. Rich and I sat in our regular booth, working through Budweiser's, pretending to care about the Red Sox getting beat by the Yankees. So, when are you going to make your move? Rich asked. Soon. I'm waiting for the right moment. What's the right moment? When they feel safest. When they think they've gotten away with it. The door opened. Miles Gainan walked in with 2 men in suits. Loud, confident, riding some business high. They grabbed seats at the bar, ordered top-shelf whiskey, and talked way too loud about deals, commissions, and conquest. That him? Rich asked. That's him. We watched Miles command the room, buying rounds, spinning stories that kept his friends laughing. He had that smooth sales charm, the kind that worked just as well on clients as it did on women. But beneath it, I saw the math. Every move, every laugh, every word was calculated to control, to position, to win. Want me to go over there? Rich said, like maybe he'd accidentally dump a beer on him. No, not yet, but soon. Miles caught me watching. Our eyes locked. He didn't know who I was, but he felt it. He leaned in and said something to his friends, and they all looked over. One of them laughed. I lifted my beer in a fake toast. Miles frowned, unsure, then turned back to his talk. You're playing with fire, Rich said. Fire's the only thing that eliminates infection. The next Thursday, I followed Sarah to Riverside again, but this time I wasn't alone. Gina had run into Miles's ex-wife at the grocery store and casually mentioned that Miles seemed to be seeing someone new, someone married. The ex-wife, still angry from her divorce, paid close attention. Her name was Patricia. She was 40, attractive, furious, and eager to make Miles miserable. Turns out he'd cheated on her too, more than once, and she'd taken a bad settlement because she couldn't prove it. I can prove it now, she said when we met at a coffee shop. If you help me. What do you want? Photos, evidence, something I can use to reopen the divorce settlement. He hid assets. I know he did, but I need leverage. I can get you evidence, but I need something too. What? I need you to confront them, both of them, together in public. I need witnesses. Patricia smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. When? The town's annual Founders Festival was coming that weekend. Food trucks, local bands, craft stalls, and half the town showing up to pretend we were still a thriving place instead of a dying mill town with big fantasies. Sarah loved it. The social scene, the networking, the chance to be seen. She'd already mentioned going with Maya and some work people. I had different plans. Friday afternoon, the recorder in Miles's condo went live. They were there together. I heard everything. "We need to talk about Al," Sarah said. "What about him? He's getting suspicious, asking questions. I think he might know something." "So what's he going to do?" "He's a contractor. You're the one with the career, the income, the connections. If it comes to divorce, you'll destroy him." "I don't want a divorce. I want both. I want stability and excitement. Then stop worrying about what Al thinks. He's not going anywhere. Guys like him never leave. They just suffer quietly and drink themselves to passing." They laughed. Then the sounds I'd come to expect. The sounds that used to make me angry, but now only made me cold. Except this time, something changed. "Miles, the handcuffs are stuck." "What?" "The key isn't working." "Try it." More fumbling. Swearing. More fumbling. "This isn't the right key." "What do you mean?" "It was the key on the chain." "Well, it's not working." "Sarah, you're really stuck." Panic crept into her voice. "Miles, get me out of these." "I'm trying." I sat in my truck across the street, listening to them unravel, and smiled for the first time in weeks. My phone buzzed. "Patricia, I'm here. Parking garage. Ready when you are." I texted back the unit number and the entry code. Then I called the front desk, disguised my voice, and reported a domestic disturbance in Unit 412. Then I waited. Patricia went in first. I heard her through the recorder, pounding on the door, yelling Miles's name. Inside, chaos. Sarah screaming. Miles scrambling to hide her. Find clothes. Find the key. That didn't work. Patricia had a key. She'd kept it from the marriage. She walked in on them. Sarah handcuffed to the bed, panicked. Miles fumbling, small and desperate. Patricia took photos. A lot of photos. "You fool," she said, calm and icy. "You absolute fool." "Patricia, this isn't shut up, Miles. Just shut up." She turned to Sarah. "And you must be the married one." "Hi, I'm the ex-wife. Nice to meet you." "Please," Sarah begged. "Please don't." "Don't what?" "Don't tell anyone. Don't share those photos. Don't ruin your life the way you helped ruin my marriage." Patricia laughed. "Oh honey. This is just getting started." Building security arrived. Then because someone mentioned a disturbance, a police officer showed up, not Detective Landry, just a young cop doing his job, walking into something that would be gossip at the station for months. I drove home, poured a whiskey, listened to the recordings of security hunting for bolt cutters, Sarah crying, Miles explaining, Patricia savoring every second of their humiliation. The handcuff key was still in my pocket. I'd give it to them eventually, just not yet. Let them sweat. Let them panic. Let them feel what it's like to be trapped with no way out. My phone rang. Sarah. I didn't answer. She called again. Again, then texts. "Al, I need help. Please, something happened. Please answer." I shut off my phone and finished my drink. Outside, the rain had stopped. Stars were visible for the first time in days. The town looked almost peaceful in the dark, all its rot hidden by shadows. Tomorrow was the festival. Tomorrow, everyone would know. Tomorrow, the real payback would begin. Sarah came home at 3 o'clock in the morning. I pretended to sleep, listening as she crept inside, crying softly. She didn't come to the bedroom. I heard her in the guest room, then nothing. In the morning, she was gone before I woke. A note on the counter. Staying at Maya's for a few days. Need space. Space? That was rich. My phone showed 47 missed calls and 32 texts, most from Sarah. A few from numbers I didn't recognize, one from Rich. "Man, everyone's talking. What the hell happened?" I called him back. "Meet me at the festival at noon. Bring Gina." The Founders Festival was already rolling when I arrived. Main Street was blocked off. packed with vendors and families and the smell of fried dough and barbecue. A local band played covers on the temporary stage. Kids ran with cotton candy. Old folks sat on benches, watching and judging. I found Rich and Gina near the beer garden. They stared at me like I'd grown another head. "Everyone knows," Gina said. "Everyone." Maya tried to spin it, but Patricia posted the photos on Facebook. Not the explicit ones, but enough. Sarah handcuffed to a bed in Miles's apartment. The whole town's seen it. "Good," I said. "Good. Al, this is nuclear. Sarah's career is finished. Byte Forge's HR manager caught with a sales director. They're both getting fired. Even better." Rich grabbed my arm. "Man, I know you're angry, but this is justice. This is justice." I pulled away. She humiliated me for months. Made me look like a fool. Laughed about it with him. Now she gets to feel what that's like. "Al, I'm not done yet." I walked off into the crowd. People stared and whispered. Some looked sympathetic, others entertained. Small-town drama beat cable TV every time. I spotted Maya near the craft vendors, talking urgently on her phone. She saw me and her face drained of color. "Al, I save it, Maya. I know you knew. I know everyone knew. You all thought it was funny watching the dumb contractor get played. That's not how long did you know?" She glanced around, desperate for an exit, but people were watching now, listening. "A few months." "But Al," I told her to stop. I told her it was wrong. "Did you?" "Because your Facebook posts say something else. All those jokes about Sarah's new man and poor Al. Real supportive friend there, Maya." Her face flushed. "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly. You're just as bad as she is. Maybe worse, because at least Sarah had the guts to stab me in the front. You just smiled and pretended to be my friend." I walked away, leaving her stammering excuses to the growing crowd. The confrontation had momentum now. People followed, hungry for drama. This was better than the band, better than the food, better than anything else at the festival. I found Miles near the stage. He stood with co-workers trying to look normal, but his face was tight and his eyes bloodshot. He saw me coming and stiffened. "Al Turner," I said loud enough for everyone to hear. "I don't think we've been properly introduced. I'm Sarah's husband. You know, the clueless one you've been laughing about." His friends stepped back. The crowd thickened. "Look, man. And I know, you listen. You thought you were clever, sleeping with a married woman, mocking her husband, living your best life. How'd that turn out? Al, this isn't the place. This is exactly the place. You wanted excitement. You wanted to feel powerful. How powerful do you feel now? Everyone knows who you are. Everyone's seen the photos. Your ex-wife is reopening the divorce. Your job's gone. Your reputation's wrecked. Was it worth it?" Miles's face twisted with rage. "You son of a witch. You set us up. The key? The key?" I pulled it from my pocket and held it up for everyone to see. "This key? The one that actually works?" "Yeah. I swapped it. Funny thing about handcuffs, they're only fun until you can't get out." He lunged at me, sloppy and emotional. I'd been in enough bar fights to recognize an amateur. I stepped aside, let his momentum carry him past, then gave him a shove. Not hard, just enough to send him into a trash can. The crowd gasped. Someone laughed. Miles scrambled up, face red, fists tight. "You're dead. You hear me? Dead." That sounds like a threat in front of all these witnesses. I looked around. Dozens of phones were recording. Everyone hear that? He threatened to kill me. The young cop from earlier pushed through the crowd. "That's enough. Both of you break it up." "Officer," I said calm and steady. "This man just threatened my life. I have witnesses. I want to file a report." Miles's face drained. "I didn't. I was just you said I was dead. That's a threat. A credible one, given your behavior." I turned to the cop. "I'm concerned for my safety." The cop looked between us, clearly overwhelmed. "Mr. Gainan, you're coming with me. This is BS. Sir, you need to calm down." As the officer led Miles away, I turned to the crowd, all phones still up. This would hit social media in minutes. The whole town would see. Show's over, folks. Enjoy the festival. But it wasn't finished. Not yet. Sarah showed up at my house that night. I'd been waiting for her. The door was unlocked, a beer already open, me sitting on the porch wrapped in darkness. Al. Her voice was small, cracked, nothing like the confident HR manager who'd left for Portland 2 weeks earlier. Sarah, can we talk? Sure, talk. She sat on the steps, eyes fixed on the ground. I lost my job. They fired me today. Miles too. Conflict of interest, they said. Inappropriate relationship, damage to company reputation. Sounds fair. Fair. You ruined my life. No, you ruined your own life. I just made sure everyone could see it. She turned toward me, and under the porch light I could see she'd been crying. How long have you known? Long enough. Long enough to hear you call me clueless. Long enough to listen to you plan 3 days with him while lying straight to my face. Long enough to be the joke of this town while you played house with your sales director. I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. What do you want? You want me to beg? Fine. I'm begging. Please, Al. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can. There's nothing to fix. We're done. I want a divorce. She let out a sharp, bitter laugh. With what evidence? Those photos? They're not admissible. Patricia broke into Miles's apartment. That's illegal. I don't need the photos. I have recordings. Hours of them. You and Miles planning, laughing, sleeping together. All recorded on devices you didn't even know existed. All legal because they were in your car and your purse, things you carried into shared spaces. My lawyer says it's airtight. Her face went blank. You recorded us? Everything. Every conversation, every plan, every time you called me stupid or clueless or boring, every time you laughed about how easy it was to fool me. I have it all, Sarah. Every word. She stood, shaking. You fool. You manipulative fool. Funny coming from you. I'll fight this. I'll get a lawyer. You'll what? You have no job, no savings. You spent it all on hotels and gifts for Miles. No reputation, no allies. Maya isn't returning your calls either. She's too busy saving her own image. This isn't fair. Fair? I stood and she stepped back. You want to talk about fair? Was it fair to cheat on me for months? Fair to spend our money on your affair? Fair to turn me into the town punchline? You want fair, Sarah? Here it is. You get nothing. The house is in my name. The truck is in my name. The business is mine. You walk away with your clothes, your car, and your shame. That's fair. I'll take you to court. Go ahead. Bring the recordings into court. Let a judge hear you planning your affair, mocking your husband, bragging about manipulating me. See how that works out. She started crying again, real tears this time, not the practiced ones. Al, please. I made a mistake. I was stupid. But we had 10 years together. That has to mean something. It did mean something. It meant I didn't do worse. I could have destroyed you completely. I could have sent the explicit recordings to your family, your old employers, your professional network. I could have made sure you never worked in HR again. But I didn't. I only made sure everyone here knew the truth. That's mercy, Sarah. That's me being generous. She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. I don't even know you anymore. You never did. You saw what you wanted. A boring, clueless contractor you could use for stability while you chased excitement. You never saw me. Never understood what I was capable of. She wiped her eyes. What happens now? Now you leave. Pack your things tomorrow while I'm at work. Leave your key. My lawyer will send you the divorce papers. You can sign them or fight them, but either way, we're done. And Miles. Miles is Miles's problem. Last I heard, his ex-wife's got enough evidence to take him for everything he's got. Karma is a witch, and so is Patricia. Sarah stood there for a long moment and I could see her trying different approaches in her head. Anger? No, I was calm. Tears? No, I was unmoved. Seduction? No, that ship had sailed. Finally, She just nodded. I really am sorry, Al. For what it's worth nothing, but I appreciate the sentiment. She walked to her car, stopped, turned back. You know what the worst part is? I actually thought I loved him. Thought he was different, special, but he was just another cheater, and I was just another stupid woman who fell for it. That's the thing about affairs, Sarah. They're built on lies and excitement. Take those away and there's nothing left. You didn't love him. You loved the idea of him. The fantasy. Real love is boring. It's coming home to the same person every night. It's fixing the sink and watching TV and growing old together. You threw that away for handcuffs in hotel rooms. That's on you. She got in her car and drove off. I sat back down on the porch. Finished my beer. Old man Seiler was on his porch across the street smoking a cigarette, watching. She gone for good? He called over. Yeah. Good. She was too loud anyway. Always coming and going at weird hours. You knew. I'm old, not blind. Saw her meeting that guy downtown. Saw you following them. Figured you'd handle it your way. Why didn't you tell me? Wasn't my place. Man's got to find these things out himself. But I kept an eye on things. Made sure you had what you needed. The notes, the timing. That was you. Like I said, I'm old, not useless. He took a drag from his cigarette. You did good, kid. Handled it smart. Could have gone violent, but you didn't. Used your head instead. Respect. Thanks, Seiler. Don't thank me. Just don't let the next one walk all over you. You're a good man, Al Turner. Don't forget that. He went inside. I sat on my porch looking at my house. My house now, all mine. And felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. The divorce was final 6 months later. Sarah didn't fight it. She'd moved 2 towns over, working as a receptionist at a dental office. Miles had moved back to Boston, apparently selling used cars. Patricia got her settlement plus extra. The recordings were very persuasive. I kept the house, kept the business, kept my dignity. The town stopped talking about it eventually. New scandals replaced it. Life moved on. Rich and Gina threw me a divorce party at Murphy's. Half the town showed up. Even old man Seiler came, nursed 1 beer, and told embarrassing stories about my teenage years. To Al, Rich toasted. The smartest dumb contractor I know. To Al, everyone echoed. I raised my glass. To second chances and to never ignoring your gut. We drank. The band played. Life went on. 3 months later, I met Hannah at a hardware store. She was buying paint for her kitchen, stuck between 2 shades of blue. I helped her choose. We talked about colors, then houses, then life. She was divorced too. Knew what betrayal felt like. Knew the value of honesty. We took it slow. No games, no lies. Just 2 people who'd been burned, trying to build something real from the ashes. On our 6th date, she asked about Sarah. I told her the truth. All of it. The affair, the handcuffs, the revenge, everything. That's either the smartest or the craziest thing I've ever heard, she said. Maybe both. Are you over it? Over her? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, I am. She taught me what I don't want. Now I'm figuring out what I do want. And what's that? Someone honest. Someone real. Someone who doesn't need handcuffs to feel alive. Hannah laughed. I can work with that. We're taking it day by day. No rush, no pressure. Just 2 people building something honest and real. The house is quieter now, cleaner. Mine. I fixed the porch, painted the shutters, remodeled the kitchen. Every upgrade wipes away a little more of Sarah, replaces her with something better. Old man Seiler still watches from across the street. Still nods when I pull in. Still keeps an eye on things. New girlfriend's better than the last one, he said last week. Yes, she is. Don't screw it up. I'll try not to. Good. Now help me fix my fence. Damn thing's falling apart. I helped him fix his fence because that's what neighbors do. That's what decent people do. And I'm done being the fool. Done being the joke. Done being clueless. I'm just Al Turner. Contractor. Survivor. A man who learned that revenge is best served cold, deliberate, and with plenty of witnesses. The handcuff key is still in my workshop, hanging on my keychain. A reminder, a trophy, a symbol. Sometimes the best revenge isn't violence or destruction. Sometimes it's just making sure everyone sees the truth.